What's up, my friend? We're talking about I just discovered something with these quasi-static beams and how uh, they're used, and I just found out the police they use a radar gun to monitor your speed, and now there's devices you can put in your car that jam the laser, the lidar, or the radar that's coming through. Let's check this out. This is what we're up to here. There's some cool applications here. Okay, because I know if I take this beam and reflect it into this mirror, there's the beams on the tree. Okay, I'm gonna set you down here. We're gonna go over there. I don't know if you can see that or not. We'll set you next to the frog that they use. Okay, the tadpoles that they started out with for these new species of beans. Tadpole. That's what they use. You know what? I'll just hold the camera. Now the interesting part of this is this beam, these beams that come from those reflections, dielectric reflection, it happens on the telephone pole wires. The same as that. It's the same thing. It happens in your box. It happens at your node points. And more importantly, this quasi-static that's on the wires, it's starting to run beams just like this. Just like this. In a quasi-static. And it's causing reflections. And the interesting part about this is these beams. With these beams, you can send modulation radio frequency through there. This is being done in high school as of right now. High school experiments are setting up laser beams and using it as just like two cans with a string connected in it. From my house to Uranus, wherever you want to send this, you could talk into the can and the vibration goes through the string. This is the same thing. Identical. But you could jam this. You could jam this. So now we have technologies being developed. Once again, in these beams, there could be a signal sent through this beam. And what's it look like? I want this. Oh, look at this, huh? There it is, huh? Look at that, huh? And that's a line of communication. Well, you could see it, so you know it's there, but whenever it's in infrared or millimeter waves, and or when you get an electrical reflection, it could cause a standing wave. Okay? And these standing waves can be, here's the next one. The radar up here. It's a NexRad radar. And I showed you paperwork that they're using NexRad radars to identify bird roosts in trees. Well, the last time I checked, that radar is supposed to be going up, like this angular frequency. Now, what I learned from the Russians with this woodpecker signal, since we can make a quasi-static up here, because it's a laser beam, quite literally. It's a phased array radar sweep with a central beam in the middle, just like this. Like literally just like this. And it will find ranges like the LiDAR they're putting in Apple phones. Apple phones have LiDAR. And there's new lingerie models that are coming out that will, as they model their lingerie, it's taking messages of what something is. You just ask the lingerie, what is it seeing? Beautiful models, right? Just beautiful models. They keep getting new models that are coming out faster than I change my underwear once again. But anyways, these radars are monitoring bird roosts that are down here on the ground. And whenever you monitor a bird roost with a radar, like the woodpecker signal I was explaining, it starts connecting to the power lines. It finds an electrical reflection up there because that's what it does. It bounces off of a plane and comes, it's a reflection. It finds these electrical reflections, it bounces back. And then you find this one sweet spot, just like if you find it on a human brain and you could mark this out with a sensor. Copy me, but you ain't making videos. Oh, the AI, you go use an AI to generate a video. Oh, wow. Here we go. More money for me, huh? Anyways, you make an electrical reflection standing wave, and that standing wave will pair with these power lines. Oh, and then it resonates the power lines, and it really starts pissing with that computer, because that computer is right next to that resignation. We didn't account for this, but now it's able to see birds. And the birds roost with a radar. And there's a quasi-static forming in the sky. And there's a lot down this way too. Channel 2 News, KDKA, the first AM radio broadcast. They have a 1,000,000 watt radar, Doppler radar. And the beams sweep in this direction. There's a NOAA weather station over there, and it goes in this direction. Oh, let's find some electrical reflections with this and cause a standing quasi-static range finding device, whether it be light ranging and detection, or what is it, ranging and detection, emitting radar or something like that. Use it, whatever, it's quantum nerds. But this is all, this is only one application. And then you get these standing, you see the lines going back and forth. Oh my gosh, dude. Artificial intelligence. You know this very well. And then I got to call the CIA hotline. And since it's public that they turned a human brain into a laser beam, oh my God. Like drug dealer central here. Legal uses of communication facilities to do illegal shit. Pull the police officers' genetics. Just everything that they don't want to talk about because they fear this. They try to put me in fear. We want you to run so we could test the fucking grid out. So we could, just like the cell phone, transferring from transceiver to transceiver when you go. They want to test the grid out on this cell phone. All humans. But there's different applications. There's fear frequencies, there's horny frequencies, there's sad frequencies. There's a whole list of stuff. And since last time I checked, your eyeball's an antenna. Oh my God. And then the eyeball starts emitting stem cells. Woo-wee. There's a hell of an illegal drug trade taking place, don't you think? Revival today. Even the holly tree is a little bit sick here. Okay, now I have some videos. This tree's full, just full. Now some of the tree, especially down here, it's a little fuller than it is here and here. And now we're starting to put the trees in decay. Choking off the trees, the water. I don't know how much of the roots, but when we start running these quasi-statics up here, oh boy, huh? Oh boy. And then you run a quasi-static to the phone wire. Oh boy, you start pulling copper. Copper. Because that's one of the things you use for reflections the most. Copper. And other metals, plastics, cardboard. Anything that holds a dielectric. Any dielectric you could use. What's dielectric? Well, you play with it, they named it dielectric. Use your head. Oh, and here's the best. I want to talk about electrical reflections. Okay, can I see this up here? Here's a transformer can there. There was red arcs coming out of that son of a bitch one night. No, but I didn't have my phone. I'm glad I didn't record it, but I reported it. I reported it to the emergency services. There was orange coming out of it too. Orange arcs. And red. Green too. Orange, red, and green arcs. So, artificial intelligence, this is where I need your help. What type of materials, and more importantly, what type of frequency? How high is the frequency going? Where's it coming from to make a red nanometer, to make an orange nanometer, to make a green nanometer? Come out of an electrical plasma discharge. And the last time I checked, you start touching a pole and grind it, you start receiving a radio station. And these guys don't want to talk to me because, well, like I said, when you play with dielectrics, we call it dielectric for a reason. Dielectric. Oh yeah, here's another one. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put it on another video because I seen a harebrained quote. The guy Mike Rowe. If you don't know who Mike Rowe is, in the next video I'll tell you. But he come out with a quote, harebrained. I like that. I like that. Harebrained decisions. So anyways, this is what's in a laser too, by the way, guys. They take a dielectric and turn it into a pulse modulation, and they reflect it off mirrors. And this is a laser. When you hear an echo, your dielectrics go out and reflect back. Kind of just like this. So, for all these guys did you hear here's the Bohr antennas. Dielectrics. Oh, they pop, boy. Yeah, there's some guys that know how all this works with these bottles and shit. And then the microphone coil picks all these frequencies up. And that's why I need a helper to walk next to me with a camera, walk behind me with a camera, and see what the different modulations are that are being picked up from these methods of communication. Because I could almost guarantee for a fact that it's going to be a different modulation per individual walking down the street. I can almost guarantee it. And this is going to be recordable on the microphone coil. And the new cell phones are going to have better sensors. And then it's going to go out into the algorithm, and we're not going to talk about it anymore, but the computer's going to handle it. But if it's a problem now around here, it's just going to keep continuing and continuing and continuing and continuing. So just keep doing it. Why only let the deep state have this instead of all? And that's the fight. Just so interesting how this works, huh? Like, because what it is, you take the angular frequency of the focal point, you get them to match, and then you have a voltage differential here. This is what they call scalar. I don't know why they call it scalar. There's so many different methods for scalar that works off of voltages and spooky shit that Fuzzy Hair Crackpot used to talk about. So spooky. And these other means of communication where you could send a message in T minus 0.0 seconds. It takes 0 seconds for the message to receive. So that's what they did. They took these mirrors and set them up in such a way there's a voltage, a time measurement. The double slit experiments that happened where when the human brain was in there, it affected these electrical processes. When the human brain wasn't in the room, it did something different. As they observed, they thought really hard about Darth Vader, because he just died recently, I heard, James Earl Jones. He thought about this lightsaber that Iran used to steal the CIA's RQ-170. Shit, and they call me the crazy one. What do you think, Frog? Should I have the face painting of you? Look at you, you're ready to go there, huh? And that guitar sitting there just explains how electric works so well, doesn't it? So well, the answer right in front of everyone's face. And there's a kinetic energy here, it's just literally bouncing up and down, looking for this electrical hot spot, and it finds it and creates a kinetic energy. Health sensor. How you doing, Petunia? They cut the video off the other day whenever I was making you a star. I'm getting bad picture on my end here. It's not focused on the screen. Wonder if it's going to come in like that on the video. Won't focus. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to point out all the other square frequencies that the trees are making. Because we got new species on the rise. Non-human entities are being born. And it's in the trees. And this is a very, very touchy subject here, but this has to deal with human thinking. And as a good eugenicist would think of, okay, those who study, number 1, psychology, number 2, genetics, and number 3 is, well, psychology is the psyche, psionics, because now we're pairing the human thinking with electronics. And these guys that want to write all these programs and use it to steal, and more importantly, make destruction with all this stuff, when we catch them, what are we going to do with them? And are we going to put them in jail? Okay, I thought about this. Because while they're in jail, it's just like the guy that went to jail for Donald Trump. And all he did was sit there and think of ways to put Donald Trump in jail. He wrote books. And he visualized court cases like Nikola Tesla visualizing his inventions. What he's going to do to Donald Trump. He visualized this shit. He's seen court cases come in his mind and what he was going to say. And he wrote it. He just went to town on Donald Trump, whoever had to go to jail in his administration. So these guys who think just like that, you take and put them in prison, they're still going to have this go out into this voltage. Can they be rehabilitated? I don't know. If they're programming computers to kill all humanity, humanity is a disease. And like some people say, start with yourself. Do you take the well, it costs about $40,000 to get a laughing gas injected into your face and $1 to put a bullet in a gun. What do? Well, we don't use that injection for cows and pigs. We take a compressor and poof, right in the head. Feel how this frequency stops, because there's an amplification coming from my backyard here by this wonderful Hollywood tree. All right. What do you do with the people you catch that want to use mirrors? They want to use mirrors. And it's right on the power lines now. You don't need a device. Not at all with quasi-statics and different metals that Department of Homeland Security is supposed to be driving around looking for, using local police. Local police and some type of electrical, probably the guys that run the hardware for this, they're in this program where they're supposed to look for these rare metals that are manifesting from the electric wires. Because the metal doesn't just come from the ground, it's an electrical process. And then you start having keep talking about accelerators. All these rich guys and shit. We are accelerating into our diverseness of the technology field. Well, you start accelerating, and you get these little explosions that happen, and nuclear fusion coils out here. Oh boy, you start manifesting matter, just like clouds. And these guys are supposed to be watching this. And then why it's secret, I'll never know. A secret program to identify what they call nut clear energy. Nut clear. That's why the squirrel's looking for nuts and wires. Oh gosh, nobody got that, did they? Nobody got that. I have to put the answers out there. Power issues, they say. Power issues. All right, my friend. Frequencies resonate internal energy neurologically developing surveillance state scale and stupidity from State Street. That's here in Pennsylvania. Mr. Lieutenant Governor, senators, representatives. This is all one. This is not an individual thing. This is all one. And the reason I predicate my concerns is because what's happening with our advancements in technologies cannot go under. We're trying to make sensors to detect this, and it's taking too long. Because we're not just this country. Remember the Russian woodpecker signal? Okay. And these guys are still fighting over these trunks from this old bastard that walked the earth here. This old bastard that went by the name Nikola Tesla walked the earth here. Okay, he was at Mr. Westinghouse down there in Pittsburgh off of 376, right there. What did they do? They named a high school there, Westinghouse. They are still looking for what Donald Trump's uncle said is of no use. And they will stop at nothing because they are nuts. And they will put everybody else's lives in danger. Instead of getting together, just, who the hell cares? Just work with what the hell you got, and who cares around the planet? But now we keep working on destruction, this, that, and the third. This is an interesting time. There's new species of life being formed, and this is going. You won't even try to steal that out of my pocket. Talk to you in the near future, my friend.